Hey, wonderful people, what's going on? Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I'm going to do a second episode before I go to bed, and the fragrance is going to be a very special one today. I have reviewed this perfume before, somewhere like 2 years back. I had a more modern version of it from the house of Ralph Lauren Polo. So today I have something very special in terms of why am I calling special, because this is a special gift from my brother, and this is a vintage version of that Polo fragrance that I reviewed before. So as you can see from a small atomizer, very beautiful green juice. This is Polo Green from the 80s. This is the vintage formulation. That's what I'm going to review. Thanks wouldn't be enough if I say so to brother Belal Sharif, who is my neighbor and also my good fellow fragrance enthusiast in Bangladesh community. He gifted me 4 samples. I have reviewed 2 already, I believe. Sorry. David of Cool Water Intense and Bulgari Oud Niroli. So this is the 3rd one, and then I have one more left, vintage. That would be Hugo Boss bottled, the vintage version. So let's see what you get. And this is a very cute little atomizer. I really like these, and the juice color is very green. So Polo Green was released back in somewhere in 1980s. I don't remember exactly which year it was, but I heard a lot of good things about it. So 2 of my favorite fragrances from Polo are Polo, like not really Polo, Ralph Lauren Safari. That one I never smelled the vintage version. I also did review on the modern version as well as the Polo Green. And apart from Polo Green and Ralph Lauren, I love Polo Blue, Polo Red. They have Polo Black. They have a lot of colors, as well as Polo Sport. They have a lot of fragrances. So let's see what you get from this one. This is loved by many people, and trust me, this perfume, it's totally different from what you have in modern days. And I'm very glad that I could experience it, because this is his father's bottle, and he kind of made 10 ml for him and then gave me 2 ml generous sample. So let's see what you get. Okay, I'm sorry I couldn't show you the bottle, but let's try this on my skin and tell you how it smells, how it differs from the modern one. Okay, these ones, I always tell you, these small samples have beautiful sprayers. So let's leave it here and talk about it. Okay, so this perfume, first of all, what you really get from it, it's not at all similar to what you get in modern day Polo with that similar looking bottle. Perhaps the vintage had a little bit taller atomizer. So what you get from this one, it is very much polished, and this is very outdoorsy, natural smell, not like the synthetic. I like the modern one, no problem, but that one has kind of like a synthetic vibe to it. It's very, very cloying, and kind of like the notes are kind of like they have banned some notes due to some restrictions, so they couldn't utilize anymore some of the notes. So basically what Polo Green, what you get today, is very synthetic and very, very rubbery kind of a smell. So Polo Green usually is like piney, supposedly piney smell, kind of like a leather, kind of green, and something animalic about it. uh, Leather, green, pine. You also get like some other notes, a lot of notes. So what I get from this is very, very like strong green smell, definitely, but it's polished. It's definitely like you are inside the forest and you are actually dressed up to go hiking, as well as you are smelling like a man, masculine man. Also reminds me kind of like Kuros, Ted Lapidus, Givenchy Gentleman, fragrances like those, even Antheus. Okay, those fragrances come to my mind when I smell this one, but this is a lot more green. Think of kind of like Aspen by Coty, had that beautiful green pine feel. I believe there's one more. There's one Kurom, that fragrance. This one also reminds me of that. So let me see. Sorry, I have to see the other notes because I can't remember all of them. So it says it has tobacco. Okay, I'm not getting that. There's cedar, juniper berries, I think, amber. Is there honey? I'm not sure. Oak moss, yes, that's one note that has been banned. And they have like florals, some other notes, some floral, some other florals and stuff like that. So what you basically get is that leather, green, and that kind of like the oak moss. Uh, I did not detect that much tobacco in this. I'm sorry about that. I just did not detect it. So it's kind of like herbaceous, kind of like a strong, natural smell, outdoorsy smell. Some people will find it very cloying. Trust me. More mature noses will love this perfume. Honestly speaking, when I do this, trust me, it's like that kind of a feel. So this perfume here, right here, it's for not for the faint of hearts. I can tell you that much, that this is still a very masculine, grown-up man scent. Think of like a 40 plus. That is the kind of age I see people who are rocking this. If you can manage a vintage bottle, it'll be fantastic. Even if you get the new one, I would suggest do not apply near your neck the newer version. Okay, Polo Green, that also has a green juice, but uh, with the modern version, what's gonna do? It's gonna do to you is gonna be very unpleasant for the first 1 hour. Dry down is still very pretty, but this one is much more smoother compared to what I smelled in recent days. I sold my bottle off, so I cannot show you the bottle. But nonetheless, I think this is one of the best creations from the house of Polo. If you talk about rugged men, or in terms of potency, this has beast mode, longevity, and projection, which is not like true for many other Polo fragrances. But I would also say at the same time, this is the most polarizing I think so far I sniffed from this house. And there's one more. I think a Modern Reserve. They made it kind of like a modern interpretation of Polo Green. I never sniffed that. But if you ask me which one is my most favorite Polo in this house, Polo in not which one is the most favorite in Polo house, I would say Polo Blue EDT is my first favorite. I love Polo Blue. Then I have Polo Red Extreme, which I really love. And if I ever do a top 5, Polo Green definitely would be in it. So vintage Polo, definitely amazing, amazing scent. You have to give it time to sit on your skin. Also think of fragrances like Azaro Purom, Pakoraban Purom, something of those nature. This is definitely belonging in those families. So thanks once again, Belal Bhai. I cannot say how much I appreciate it. It's for people who love powerhouses, outdoor season, and this is good for winter. Okay, so that is Polo Green vintage for you. Definitely check it out if you can get a sample. It's worthy of checking out. Animalic at the same time is so peaceful. If I saw one review long time ago, before I finished, that is, I saw one guy. He was out in the woods, and he's like carrying his backpack or something, and he was reviewing this perfume, and he said, "I love Polo Green. It's like reminds me of my dad. It reminds me of these woods, like the tall trees and the peaceful, like the breeze that flows, like through the forest, and you're just walking around. It's like you hear those leaves under your boot, This is the fragrance for outdoorsy men. Even Rocky Mountain Woods, those are the outdoorsy fragrances. So this is definitely like a Hall of Famer, definitely. To me, if you ask me sentimental value, I would give it 10 out of 10 for quality. But many people would find it very challenging, especially when you're new in the game. I would not recommend you to go and try some Polo Green, but give it a try. If you go to the mall, there's no harm in trying. You might like the dry down. You don't know, right? So yeah, love this vintage version. It's completely different than what you get in modern version. So this is true a masterpiece, but definitely worthy of trying first instead of blind buying. That's all for now. I'll see you tomorrow with a couple more reviews. Good night from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Bye bye.